What is up, guys? We are back in the garage with the STI. Today what we're going to do is go ahead and start cleaning parts up. We are waiting on a cylinder bore gauge. I thought maybe AutoZone or O'Reilly's would have one to rent, but they don't. So I went ahead, ordered one on Amazon. So we're waiting for that to come in because I do want to make sure we check the cylinder bores before we start ordering parts, dropping pistons in, just to make sure that it doesn't need a hone or anything, that everything's still in round. So what I thought we would do today while we're waiting on that to arrive is clean up the short block, go ahead and clean up the engine bay. I want to clean in the engine bay, and I'll show you here in a little bit why. It's got some spots, number one, that are filthy. I'd like to get it clean. It's got some spots where the paint is starting to wear off. So I want to go ahead and hit that up with some primer and some touch-up paint just to make sure we get everything sealed back up nicely. Want it to look good since I don't really want to pull the engine out again just to clean it. And it is a pain with the engine stuffed in there to clean up the motor, the engine bay and the motor. So we're gonna go ahead and do that today. So I'm gonna get you guys set up. We'll start with the engine bay, and then we'll jump onto putting the short block on the stand and getting that one done. I've got some engine degreaser, some simple green, some brake parts cleaner. So we'll use a mix of all of those while we're cleaning. The engine degreaser is a nice foamy spray-on one. I'll throw a link in the description to everything we're using today, and then I'll talk more about that when we get over there to start cleaning. Alright guys, so we got everything taped up. Normally I wouldn't say you need to tape everything up just to wash your engine bay, but since everything's unplugged and exposed and opened, I went ahead and taped up electrical connections and coolant for the heater core. So we've got that taped up. You can see in here, did my best to tape everything up. You can see all the just grime and everything from just 100,000 miles of neglect of keeping this engine bay clean. So the next thing, I'm gonna jump in there, we'll hose it down with some spray foam engine degreaser, and then I'll set up the pressure washer. I'm gonna use a lower pressure setting on it since we do have everything open, to just go ahead and rinse that off, and then we'll see what needs to be scrubbed and what doesn't. Alright guys, we got the engine pretty much degreased. Used the foam engine cleaner, which worked okay. Simple green worked the best though. That's the last thing I used there, was some simple green just in full concentrate. Spray it on, it really eats away at that grime and dirt, and then rinse it off. I'll probably come back, I'm gonna let this dry out, throw the motor up on the stand and start cleaning it. It's gonna get simple green and then brake cleaner. I'll probably come back to this just to check and see how it's doing. But you can see it's already so much cleaner in here. It's not going to be perfect. We're not stripping it all the way down to show car quality, but it does look a lot better already. So I'm going to go ahead, throw the motor up on the stand, and we'll get to working on that. Alright guys, so we've got the motor pretty clean, but I want to go back through. I've got some wire brushes and some Scotch-Brite pads. Clean up the mating surface for the heads for sure with a plastic scraper, not wire brush on the head mating surface, Scotch-Brite pad. And then I want to clean up the rest of it really good. I'm pretty decided, I think at this point, that I want to go ahead and paint the short block and the heads and everything once they're all assembled. So I want to get a good clean surface for the primer and the paint to attach to. So I'm just going to go back through now with the wire brush and everything, and I'll show you guys a little bit of brake cleaner, wire brush, or a Scotch-Brite pad, and some elbow grease, and this should clean up real nice. So let's jump back into it. Alright, so the first one I'm going to use is this brake cleaner and this hard bristle nylon brush just to see what'll clean up with that. And I'm going to jump in. Steel brush. And I'm going to go ahead and pull these sensors back off again. Now that I've already hosed it down. But you can see with the steel brush, just working it all around in there to get as much of that gunk as I can. Some of this deep in there looks like it's probably just not going to come out. But a lot of this scale down here is coming. So we'll just keep moving through like that. Alright guys, so that's a wrap for cleaning up the short block. The surface where the head mates to the short block is pretty good. I may give it, probably will give it one more good solid go over with maybe a wire brush or the 3M Scotch-Brite pad. The motor will get cleaned again, the insides of the cylinders and everything, before everything gets assembled. So it's not going to stay like it is. We'll soak it down with some WD-40, wipe in there real good. Make sure everything is clean, dirt, dust free. Drop in the cylinders and then package it up so that it's airtight and it's not going to get dirty while we work on the heads. But overall, I'm pretty happy with how clean it got. There are some spots, cracks, crevices, not cracks, but crevices and everything where it's hard to get a brush in, it's hard to get anything in there really to clean it. So I've wiped it down as good as I think I can. Once the motor's all put back together and we're going to do a prep for the paint, that's when I'll give it one more final go over of the full outside of the case. Other than that, we're set for today. The next thing I think I want to start on this is pulling out the valves, springs, retainers, and everything to go ahead and clean the heads real good. We'll clean the head surface. We'll clean the valves. We'll get everything nice and back in working order, lap the valves, and then we'll look at porting and polishing the heads. I keep going back and forth on whether or not I want to port and polish them. We're definitely going to do the TGV deletes. We'll port out the front of the intake manifold where it mates up with the TGV housings, and we're definitely going to go ahead and port the manifold side, probably the hot side of the turbo as well. Get all that ported just so everything flows really well. But we'll jump into all that next time. Thanks again for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next episode.